You know that feeling. The sudden, compulsive urge to check their social media. You tell yourself it'll just be a quick look, that this time, it will be different. But an hour later, you're trapped in a rabbit hole of their new life, and the ache in your chest feels heavier than ever. If you are sick of that cycle, listen up. You are not failing at moving on. You're just caught in a psychological loop that's designed to keep you stuck. But what if I told you there are 3 concrete steps you can take to break that cycle for good? Let's get into it. Before we get to the steps, you have to understand what's happening in your brain. Every time you check his social media, your brain gets a small hit of a chemical called dopamine. It's the exact same chemical that made you feel so good when you were together. This creates a reward cycle that functions just like a slot machine. The uncertainty of what you might find keeps you pulling the lever, hoping for a reward. You're not weak. You're human. Your brain is wired to seek connection, even if it's a fake one that only hurts you in the end. This cycle keeps you emotionally chained to the past, drags out the grieving process, and makes it feel impossible to heal. So, let's break that chain. The first step is to interrupt the habit. The second the urge strikes. That urge to check often feels automatic, like a reflex, especially when you're bored, lonely, or feeling insecure. The key isn't to fight the feeling, but to pause and get curious about it. The next time your thumb starts moving toward that app, just stop for 1 second and ask yourself, what am I really hoping to find? And how have I felt every other time I've done this? Let's be honest. You're probably hoping for a sign that he misses you, but you almost always end up feeling anxious, sad, or angry. That simple pause breaks the spell of the automatic behavior. In that moment of clarity, you regain the power to make a choice. To make that choice easier, have a replacement activity ready. This could be anything: texting a friend, opening a game, watching a funny video, or just getting up for a glass of water. Your goal is to carve out a new neural pathway, to teach your brain to turn left instead of right when that trigger appears. Every time you choose something else, you are actively rewiring your brain for healing. Step 2 is practical, and honestly, it's often the hardest. You have to create serious digital distance. If you were trying to quit drinking, you wouldn't keep a bottle of whiskey on your kitchen counter. You have to treat his social media the same way. This means it's time to hit mute, restrict, or even block. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook have features that let you make an ex practically invisible without the drama of unfriending. This isn't about being petty, it's about fiercely protecting your peace. Seeing his life, curated and filtered to perfection, is a constant, painful reminder that can seriously set back your healing. And don't forget about mutual friends. It might be necessary to temporarily mute anyone whose posts are likely to feature your ex. If you still find it impossible to resist, consider a full social media detox. Delete the apps from your phone for a week. It can feel extreme, but that space can give you the emotional breathing room you desperately need. And finally, step 3 is about reclaiming all of that energy you've been spending on his life and reinvesting it back into your own. All of that time and mental energy you're spending analyzing his digital footprint, that's energy that's not being spent on building a life you love. Moving on isn't just about stopping a bad habit. It's about starting new, better ones. So right now, grab a piece of paper or open your notes app. Write down 3 things you've always wanted to do, but felt you never had time for. Maybe it's joining a book club, learning to cook a new dish, or planning a weekend hiking trip. These aren't just distractions. They are powerful acts of rebuilding your identity outside of that old relationship. While you're at it, curate your own social media feed for growth. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like you are not enough, and follow people who genuinely inspire you. Artists, entrepreneurs, hikers, you name it. Turn your phone from a source of pain into a source of empowerment. When you start pouring that love and energy back into your own growth, the urge to look backwards starts to fade because you'll be so much more excited about where you're going. Remember, healing isn't a straight line. There will be days when the urge feels overwhelming, and that is completely okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. By interrupting the pattern, creating distance, and reinvesting in yourself, you are taking back control. You stop being a passive visitor in his past and start becoming the architect of your own future. If this was helpful, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's next. And as your next step, I recommend checking out my video on how to deal with loneliness after a breakup to keep the momentum going. You've got this.